Assalamualaikum everyone, and a very good day to Madam Sofia Hayati. For media ethics, our group has been assigned to discuss on the selected topic, which is analysis of international news reporting on how Malaysian government handles Rohingya refugees issue. This video contains two parts, which is part 1 is about the introduction and part 2 is the analysis between two international news portals, which is Thailand and Brunei.
First thing first, let me introduce myself. My name is Puteri Norfarha binti Muhammad Zain and my metric number is 1182678.
My name is Karen Khalida binti Ramli and my metric number is 11800062.
Hi, my name is Nurul Hayati binti Haya. My metric number 11800055.
Let me start with the introduction first. Malaysia history is full of examples with refugee influxes from other countries. These refugees came from the Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Bosnia and Indonesia from the early 1970s to the early 2000s. From 2012 to 2015, Rohingya refugee issue became a major issue or big issue in our country, Malaysia. In Kuala Lumpur, the United Nations High Commission of Refugees (UNHCR) has a record of over 100,000 refugees and migrants from other countries. 90% of them are from Myanmar and 34,000 refugees are under the age of 18. Issue Rohingya migrants entering Malaysia has attracted the interest of many international media. News written by the international journalists focus on how the Malaysian government is handling this issue, whether it's successful or not. Next, we move to the research objective. Firstly, how does international news portray Malaysia's handling of the Rohingya refugee crisis? Secondly, we want to know, does the Rohingya refugee crisis have a significant impact on the Malaysian politics, economy and media? And thirdly, what is the difference between Thailand and Brunei news when it comes to reporting on the Malaysian government handling of Rohingya refugee crisis? International view about Rohingya in Malaysia. According to the year 2017 from China, as the US closed its door from refugees, Malaysia authorized should do the same. Malaysia authorized should develop long-term plans to accommodate the nearly 200,000 Rohingya Muslims who live within its border and let legal protection. The Malaysia authorized must recognize that the majority of Rohingya refugees are likely to remain in the nation permanently. Resettlement rates for Rohingya refugees had been low even before Trump refugee restriction. The Malaysian government has made the least effort to offer the refugee working rights and sufficient access to health and education due to the perception of temporary hosting. The Malaysian government must act quickly before this situation getting worse.
From my observation, Thailand news in media industry perspective shows that the bad side of Malaysia because they keep highlighting that Malaysia being immorality just because of they were not welcoming the immigrant from Rohingya and not giving them protection needed. They also highlighted that Malaysia being xenophobia and throwing hate speech towards Rohingya community as showing hatred to them.
From the perspective media industry, based on the Borneo Bulletin and Independent News Brunei, they are more likely portraying the good side and trustworthy in writing the news. Although they have slightly mistake in the headline by the choice of word, but still the reader understand what they are trying to deliver and not manipulate the information, regardless how Malaysian media handling the refugees.
In political perspective, Bangkok Post portray the good side of Malaysia because they discuss about sovereignty that tried to create by Malaysia between Myanmar and Rohingya. They also post about the effort that have been made by Malaysia in the process of returning Rohingya community in peace. The meeting has been made not just by the Asian but in the international department.
From the other sides of political issue, our ex-Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak said that humanity is the main reason to protect and help the refugees, such as give a shelter, basic needs and work. Based on the statement, the journalists of independent news really did the research and not being biased toward the information, even though Malaysia is the one of the country that secure all the immigrant and refugees. It shows how the independent news picturing the Malaysian to the world with significant reality.
In the economic perspective, Bangkok Post trying to blame Malaysia for making forced deportation to Rohingya community because of the pandemic COVID-19. The media being sarcasm relating to say that to become a developed country, we must prioritize humanity. The media stress that Malaysia's economy will collapse if they make a forced deportation to Rohingya.
And lastly, is economic issue. Malaysian government decided to take the refugees of Rohingya as a worker as if it a win-win situation because they can increase the economy of our country as the progress well proved in the Malaysian economic history. As it captures all of this, the world will think that the Malaysian government taking advantages with the refugees, but the reality is they help our country maintain the economical part to sustain the progress in driving the flow of managing the economy. Plus, our own citizens demanding the pay rather than the task. So it's the worth paying for the Rohingya refugees to be true.